Hi there, my name is Paul Markey and welcome to this video on how to use puppets with your storybooks. One of the main characters I use is called Nellie the Elephant, and this is a knitted puppet that I use, and I use this with the children. I also have some small finger puppets that I use, and these are really good to carry in your pocket if you're out on an activity, and you can always just start telling a story and use Nellie the Elephant as a finger puppet. Now, usually what I do with this puppet, I'll actually, to start the story, I'll actually hide Nellie. Usually I'll wear a sweater or something like this, and I usually have Nellie hidden up in my sweater just like this. And then what I'll do is I'll ask the children to wake Nellie up. So I'll say, oh, Nellie, oh, it looks like she's sleeping, boys and girls. Maybe we could wake Nellie up. So let's say, Nellie, wake up. And usually the children will say, Nellie, wake up. And then I'll usually go, pretend as if she's sleeping. And then I'll get really loud. I'll say, okay, say it louder, so she'll wake up. And then by the time you do this about 3 times, the children are really into starting the story because they're usually shouting at the top of their voices, Nellie, wake up. And then I'll bring out the puppet and I'll say, ooh, hi boys and girls, my name's Nellie the Elephant. And that's usually how I start the story, and usually the children are really into it by then. Now the interesting thing about this puppet is that the children will either come up and want to hug the puppet, and it's very interesting. I had one incident where a little boy, 5-year-old boy, came up and he whispered in Nellie's ear and he said, oh, can I tell you a secret? So I said, yes. So and he whispered this secret in the puppet's ear and he said, don't tell Paul. It's actually quite funny that children must see this puppet as a real character, because the puppet, they'll actually tell the puppet a secret, but there's no relationship between the fact that I'm doing the speaking and I'm not even disguising my voice. I'm just using my regular voice and just using the puppet, and the children will relate to this puppet as if it's a real character and it has nothing to do with you. So it's very interesting to use puppets in your story. So basically that's how I start off my story, is just have Nellie sleeping, bring Nellie out, get the children to shout as loud as they can, the top of their voices, and that really gets them into starting the story. And usually after I've read the story, I'll bring Nellie out and I'll say the same thing again to the children. Okay, let's wake Nellie up. They'll shout as loud as they can. I'll bring the puppet out and I'll say, well, thank you for listening to my story and participating in my story, boys and girls. See you next time. And then I'll usually say, okay, boys and girls, you can come and give Nellie a big hug if you like. And some children will come up and they'll pull on the trunk, or they'll pinch and do things like that. It's really very interesting. And usually when that happens, I'll go, ow, ow, that hurt. And just pretend as if it's the elephant that's saying that and doing that. And then I'll just follow up and say, oh, gentle touching. Nellie doesn't like it when you do that. Give Nellie a big hug, and then you redirect them to a hug. And puppets are really good for redirecting children as well. Here I have a monkey puppet. And with this one, we'll do the monkey walk. So if I want to redirect the children, say, to do something, say go to the bathroom, wash their hands, I'll say, okay, boys and girls, let's do our monkey walk to the bathroom, and then I'll do a crossover pattern, and we'll do that, and I'll say, come on, and just lead them along, and it's very simple and easy to do, and they will relate to this puppet as well, the same as they do the big puppet. But I find the big puppet has more effect because they can actually get physically hug onto your hand because they're only small. So that's a quick introduction to puppets and how I use them with my story, and I've found them to be very effective. If you have any comments or anything you need to ask me, feel free to email me at paulmackey@lycos.com, or go to my website at storybooks.teach.com. Michaela, nice to see you. Well, boys and girls. Oh, I'm getting so tired. I think I'm going to have a nap, and my friend Paul is going to tell you a story. And it's a story about how I go in the jungle with all my friends. Ooh, that's my trunk. That's the trunk, yes. Can you go and sit down? Because Nellie's going to have a big nap. We'll give you a big hug at the end of our story.